Very good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to learn about the oscillator part of Module 2. So, under this, you will be learning the Wein bridge oscillator, IC555 timer, and IC555 timer as a stable multivibrator. So, Wein bridge oscillator is one of the most commonly used audio oscillator, and you will be using an operational amplifier here, which is operated in non-inverting mode. Thereby, there will not be any shift produced during the amplifier stage. The total phase shift required as per Parkinson criteria, it is 2 pi radians, and this is possible as the input is connected to the non-inverting input terminal of the op-amp, and the feedback network also will not produce any phase shift. Thereby, the total phase shift is 0 degree. So the below figure shows the basic circuit of a Wein bridge oscillator, which is connected between the amplifier and the output terminal. So this Wein bridge circuit will be the feedback network for the oscillator. And you can observe in the construction features, we'll be using a non-inverting terminal as the input for the operational amplifier, and for the inverting input terminal will be connecting the feedback from the Wein bridge network, and output is taken across V0. So the oscillator usually consists of a Wein bridge which is having 4 ohms connected to the non-inverting terminal of the op-amp, and the amplifier input is applied from the feedback network. So the Wein bridge has a RC circuit, series RC circuit, which is connected as one of the ohm, and in the another adjoining ohm we have a parallel RC network, and in the remaining 2 ohms we have connected the resistor R1 and R2 respectively as shown below. So the essential conditions of oscillations to be produced is satisfied only when the bridge gets balanced, that is at resonance state. So the output of the amplifier is applied between the terminals 1 and 3, which is the input to the feedback network. So while the amplifier input is supplied from the diagonal terminals, which is the output from the feedback network, thus the amplifier supplies its own input. So in a Wein bridge network, 2 resistors R1 and R2 are not equal, as well as the capacitors C1 and C2 are also not equal. So the frequency of oscillations will be represented as, can be derived as F is equal to 1 by 2 pi root of R1 R2 into C1 into C2. So thereby this Wein bridge oscillator produces an oscillations without any input, whereas the feedback network is the Wein bridge which is connected as shown here. And the frequency of oscillations produced, it is represented by F is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi root of R1 R2 C1 into C2. So the next oscillator is using the IC555 timer. So a popular analog digital integrated circuit is the IC555 timer. So 555 timer, it is basically a integrated circuit specifically designed to perform signal generation and timing functions. So it is a high stable device for generating accurate time delays. And mostly this features of IC555 timer are compatible with both TTL and CMOS logic families. So the maximum load current, it can go up to 200 milliamps, and the power supply for this required is plus 5 volt to plus 16 volt. So here we have shown the pin configuration of the IC555 timer. So it consists of 8 pins, and pin 1, it is the ground, 2 is trigger, 3 will be getting the output, and 4 is the reset pin, 5 is the control input, 6 threshold, 7 discharge, and 8 is the VCC supply. So the internal block diagram of the IC555 timer is shown here. So basically it consists of 2 comparators. One is the upper comparator, the other one is the lower comparator, and a SR flip-flop and 2 transistors along with 3 resistors which are of same value with the resistance value as R, and an inverter. So as we have seen the block diagram, it consists of 2 comparators as I told, one which is basically 2 op-amps and a RS flip-flop and 2 transistor and a resistor network. So as I told, the resistor network consists of 3 equal resistors and it acts as a voltage divider. And comparator 1 compares threshold voltage with a reference voltage of 2 by VCC volt, and comparator 2 compares the trigger voltage with the reference voltage 1 by 3 times of VCC. So this you can observe in the block diagram here. As all the three resistors are connected in series and it is connected to the directly to the VCC supply, each of the comparator it will be provided with a threshold voltage. For the upper comparator it is 2 by 3 times of VCC, and for the lower comparator the value is 1 by 3 VCC, and this is compared with the threshold for the upper comparator, and for the lower comparator it is compared with the trigger voltage. So output of both the comparators we are going to supply to the flip-flop. So the flip-flop assume it states according to the output of the two comparators. Output of the two transistor is a discharge transistor, out of which the collector is connected to pin 7. So this transistor saturates or cutoffs according to the output state of the flip-flop. So the saturated transistor provides a discharge path to a capacitor connected externally. So the base of the transistor is connected to the reset terminal. So whenever you want to reset the 555 timer, directly you can give an input to the reset terminal. Thereby whatever the irrespective of the input, the terminal resets the whole timer. So this is about the IC 555 timer block diagram, and you will be getting the output at pin number 3. Astable multivibrator. Astable multivibrator, it is also called as free running multivibrator. It has no stable state and continuously switches between the two states without application of external trigger. So the IC 555 can be made to work as an astable multivibrator with the addition of 3 external components such as the resistors R1 and R2 and capacitor C. This you can observe here in the block diagram given. So we have made use of a IC 555 timer along with 3 components, which are the resistances R1 and R2 and the capacitance C. So the pins 2 and 6 are connected, hence there is no need for the external trigger, and it will self trigger and acts as a free running multivibrator. And rest of the connections, as we have seen for the 555 timer, it is the same. That is pin 8 it is to the supply voltage VCC, and pin 3 it is the output terminal, and hence the output is available at this pin, and pin 4 is the external reset pin. And whenever you want to reset the timer, you can make use of this pin number 4. When it is not in use, pin number 4 is usually tied to VCC supply. And control voltage applied at pin number 5 will change the threshold voltage level, but for normal use pin 5 is connected to ground via a capacitance of value 0.01 microfarad, so that the external noise from the terminal is filtered out. And pin 1, as usual, it is the ground terminal, and the timing circuit that determines the width of the pulse is made with the help of the values of R1, R2 and C. So as we know, when while discharging, the capacitor discharges through the resistance R2 only, hence the discharge time constant is R2 into C. While discharging, the capacitor charges through the resistance. While charging, the capacitor charges through the resistances R1 and R2. Thereby, the charging time constant is R1 plus R2 into C, which is the total resistance in the charging path R1 plus R2. So let us calculate the duty cycle of a astable multivibrator. So let us consider T on is the time period for the high output and T is the total time period for one cycle. Then the duty cycle can be written as D is equal to T on divided by total time period T. So in terms of percentage, we can write it as percentage D is equal to T on divided by T into 100, where T is the sum of charge time and discharge time, T on plus T off. So the value of T on or the charge time is given as Tc is equal to 0.693 into R1 plus R2 into C. So the value of T off for the discharge time, it is given by Td is equal to, discharge time is represented by Td, which is equal to 0.693 into R2 into C. So therefore the total time period for one cycle T is given as T is equal to T on plus T off, which is equal to Tc plus Td, that is charging time plus discharging time. So if you add both Tc plus Td, we'll be getting T is equal to 0.693 into R1 plus 2 times of R2 into C. So in terms of percentage, we can multiply by 100. So the frequency of oscillation F can be written as 1 divided by T, which is equal to 1 divided by 0.693 into R1 plus 2 times of R2 into C. So thereby the frequency of oscillation generated is F is given as, F will be deriving as 1.44 whole divided by R1 plus 2 R2 into C. So this is the frequency of oscillation, whatever the oscillations produced by the astable multivibrator. So this derivation is very much important. You need to explain about the astable multivibrator and the block diagram, and you can observe the graph here. So when the capacitor start charging from 1 VCC to 2 by 3 times of VCC, you can observe the comparator output is saturates to VCC, and during the discharge period the comparator output is saturated to minus VCC or 0. So thereby it will be producing a continuous rectangular or square wave based on the T on and T off period. If both T on and T off period are same, then you will be getting a square wave. If it is different, you will be generating a rectangular pulse as shown here. So this is the graph which is drawn with respect to the charging of capacitor and the output voltage V0, which is available at pin number 3. Thank you for watching.